Now, it's time to meet the players of college sports today, presented by the Allen Law Firm, and get this show started. He's a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, a first-round NFL draft choice, and a member of the College Football Hall of Fame as both a player and coach. He is the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. He's a rare two-time SEC Player of the Year and spent over a decade in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Matthews. And presenting the host of the show, with over 25 years of sports broadcasting experience, Terry Norvell. Coming to you from the Future Home Loan Studio inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille, it's time for College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. Presented by the Allen Law Firm.
And we are on the eve of Week 8, Saturday, Week 8 of college football. Some good games we will talk about with you here on a Friday edition of College Sports Today. I want to thank our title sponsor, the Allen Law Firm, located in Gainesville and Ocala, 2 offices serving the entire state of Florida. Allen Law Firm, of course, is our title sponsor, and we always thank our good friends from Future Home Loans. We broadcast from the Future Home Loans studio inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, inside Coach's podcast room. Speaking of Coach Spurrier, he is on the West Coast. He's got business going on, so he is not with us today. We'll catch up with Coach on Monday as he gets back into town. But Coach Spurrier busy today. He's a busy dude, man. He's got a lot going on, even in his ambassadorship, as you know. You don't want to say the R word, retired, because Coach is still working hard. But Coach Spurrier will be back here on College Sports Today on Monday. In a few minutes, we'll hook up, as we do on Fridays, with our buddy Shane Matthews. We will get into our Safe Harbor Seafood picks of the week, and that allows us to really break down a lot of the games as we go. Before we get to Shane on our first break here and then get to our picks, I want to hit some stuff in and around the world of college football. We are at the bye week for Florida and Georgia. I wanted to just throw my theory of a report card out. Where are the Dogs and the Gators? Well, they're on different ends of the spectrum as the bye week has hit us here for Florida and Georgia. If we were giving out report card grades, Georgia is so easy. I mean, the Bulldogs literally, to this point, their report card grade is an A+, only because I don't know if you can go double plus. I mean, Georgia has had, number one, they've done everything they can do that they control. They're a really good football team. They can control the fact that they're a really good football team. They've played great every week. They haven't had a letdown, it hasn't appeared. They haven't had that hiccup game. So Georgia, certainly A+, particularly they control everything they can control. Now, the other thing that really plays into Georgia's A+, there's a lot of stuff in college football that you, the program, can't control. Some other teams, some ancillary things. Think about Georgia this year. They've controlled everything in-house. They're a really good team. But a lot of other stuff has broken Georgia's way. They can't control how good or coming back to the pack Alabama might be. This is not the best Alabama team in several years. They're good and they're getting better, but I don't think this is the best Alabama team. Something Georgia can't control, but boy, it's leaning in their favor. Florida has played themselves really out of the SEC East. Another thing that has really added to Georgia's A+ half of a season right now. Georgia, things they can control internally as a football team, easily an A+ at this point in the season. Ancillary, other things that Georgia can't control but affect the Dogs probably as we move into the second half of the season. Another A+. It has just been a spectacular year. The only thing negative, but this is really part of the fabric of college football, are a couple of injuries at Georgia. Injuries are part of football. Certainly, JT Daniels, you thought was going to be the starting quarterback all year. He's been hurt, basically. Even the injuries that everybody's going to suffer have kind of broken Georgia's way in a weird dynamic. Stetson Bennett, right there, to pick up the quarterback play for the Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, what an A-plus for Georgia. Now, a long way to go. They've got to finish it off. I'll tell you another thing that's really working in Georgia's favor right now, and I'm going to jump way ahead. If Georgia runs the regular season undefeated, if they run out to a 12-0 regular season, that is huge for the Dogs because that means they have a mulligan. If Georgia is 12-0, that gets them to Atlanta. Certainly, they'll be the number one team in the nation. They're already the number one team in the nation. If Georgia gets to Atlanta 12-0, that's a practice game. If you think about it, Georgia can lose that game, and they're going to be in the college football playoff at 12-1. Man, have things gone Georgia's way. They've controlled a lot of it, and some things have broke their way. So far, it has been an A-plus report card for the Georgia Bulldogs. Florida right now, I'd give them a D. I would give Florida a D overall. It has really been a nightmarish first half of the season. On field, lack of development. I thought Florida was going to be a lot better on defense. I was wrong. Dan Mullen has had he's had moments where he's dialed in and he's Dan Mullen, the play caller. Mullen has taken an absolute beating when he gets in front of the camera and behind the microphone. I've talked about this a couple weeks ago. Different people handle the media differently. Some people have a knack for a camera in their face or a microphone, talking into a microphone. Some people don't. Dan Mullen just doesn't have a great knack, number one, but boy, he has let the media end of his job just wear him out. I think Florida's had a D. I mean, some people will tell you that may be a little harsh. They're what, 4-3? I mean, Florida is 4-3. Tough year. The report card for Florida, if I was handing it out, would be a solid D for the Gators and a big A-plus for Georgia. We'll talk much more about that next week as it will be Florida-Georgia week, both the Dogs and Gators off today. A couple more topics, then we'll take a break. Is it upset alert? Are we on upset alert for any teams? Tomorrow, no top 25 teams play. There's not a game where both teams are ranked, unless I missed one. But upset alert, possibly. If you're kind of thinking, could there be an upset or two, as there normally is? Oklahoma State, Oregon, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Purdue now in the top 25. Are they on upset alert? We'll break down most of those games with Shane Matthews and get into them a little deeper. The ACC and the Big Ten, this is their year for all the other teams in those conferences not named Clemson or Ohio State. Is this the year? If this is not the year that Ohio State and Clemson get knocked down, I mean, when is it going to happen in the ACC? Right now, you can see what's happening. The ACC is trying to gang up and put another loss or two on Clemson and have somebody else not named the Clemson Tigers win the ACC. Same thing with the Big Ten. By the way, Ohio State, they may lose 2 or 3 games before this, 2 or 3 more games before this season's over. I think they're a dangerous team, though. I know they're about to play the tough part of their schedule, but I think Ohio State is a quiet, dangerous team. I'll tell you who else is dangerous as hell, and if there was a 12-team playoff, they would be seated very low because they already have 2 losses, but I think they would get in. I think Texas A&M would be dangerous as hell if we had a 12-team playoff. By the way, Texas A&M, don't look now. They have 2 losses. They're both in conference. Texas A&M beat Alabama. Alabama has 1 loss. If A&M could, this sounds crazy, but if Texas A&M could run the table, finish 10-2, if somebody knocked off Alabama, named LSU maybe, named Auburn, it could happen. You realize Texas A&M would go to Atlanta at 10-2 if Alabama lost another game and Texas A&M ran the table? They've got the tiebreaker on them. They would both have 2 losses. A&M beat Alabama. A lot more to get into. We'll take a lap around college football as we go with our picks here in a moment with Shane Matthews. Our Safe Harbor Seafood picks are coming up. You do not want to go away. We'll take a break, talk to all of our great sponsors, come back and talk some more deep college football. Week 8 when we come back.
Ever heard the saying, all politics are local? I believe the same goes for lawyers. To me, it doesn't matter how many lawyers any firm has spread across the country. What matters is who's the lawyer right here, right now. I'm Bill Allen. I've spent my whole career fighting big insurance companies for my friends and neighbors right here in North Central Florida. If you've been hurt and don't know who to trust, I would be honored to help you and your family against any opponent, anytime, anywhere. Call me 24/7.
The good boy! the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell can be found up and down the Northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvell, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Back where you are, I want to thank Allen Law Firm, 2 locations, offices in Gainesville and, of course, in Ocala, serving the entire state of Florida. Our title sponsor, so very proud to be associated with Allen Law Firm. Give them a call. Unfortunately, if you've been in an accident or injury or you've got a question, there's nothing worse than thinking you might have been done wrong, something that you might have been injured or hurt or somebody you know, and don't just take that around and wonder and think to yourself and wonder. Give them a call. That's what they're there for. They're experts in the fields. Give them a call. It's easy. Pick up the phone. Pound YES. Pound yes gets you through, and you will talk to the great people over at Allen Law Firm in Gainesville and Ocala. I want to thank Future Home Loans, one of the best in the business all over the Southeast. When it comes to mortgage brokerage, you can't get any better than Future Home Loans. We're inside the Future Home Loans studios. They have over 2,000 5-star ratings, great relationships with so many lenders. They'll get you the right situation matched up with your personal situation when you're ready to buy a home or refinance. Contact Future Home Loans. Thanks to all of our other sponsors that make this show happen, including Safe Harbor Seafood. Time for our Safe Harbor Seafood picks of the week. Coach Spurrier is on the West Coast. He's on business. We've got his picks. We'll transpose those in as we go after the show, but we've got our buddy Shane Matthews ready to go. Shane, week 8, can you believe that? We've passed the halfway point of the regular season. Really, really does. Saturday, October 23rd, will be this Week 8 Saturday. So, Shane, I don't know if you can see, but here's our standings real quick and this week's games. Shane, you and I have been locked in a Texas death match for about 4 straight weeks. We both went 6-4 last week, so we're still tied, 47 up, 39 down. You and I are tied. Coach last week was 4-6, so he lost a couple games to us, and Coach is sitting at third with 42 wins. So we both got 47, Shane. Coach has got 42, and we're ready to go. I don't think we've got a top 25 matchup this week, Shane, but I see a few potential upset alert games. Let's get into it. We'll start in the really the only undefeated ACC team, Wake Forest, Coach or Shane. 16th in the nation, Wake Forest, 6-0, 4-0 in the ACC. They're in the Atlantic with Clemson and NC State, but Wake Forest is out of the ACC this week. They are at Army, Shane. Army 4-2, and they've lost to a couple pretty good teams. Upset alert here. How do you see this one? Oh, my. So they're going to get that running game going. That is great. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a lot of fun. Wake Forest, boy, they're 6-0, 4-0, leading. And, you know, we'll get to Clemson in a minute. Clemson may lose again. This wouldn't crush Wake Forest season. Boy, but you'd hate to have a blemish at Army. I'm going to go ahead and take Wake Forest. I am uneasy, though, with this game. I'm with you. I think Army, if they get it going, and Wake Forest hadn't seen that style all year, if they get it going, Wake Forest may never see the football. Shane, I'll take the next game. Wisconsin, 3-3 overall, 1-2 in the Big Ten. They are at number 25 Purdue. Purdue, of course, jumped into the top 25 after their big win last week over Iowa. 4-2 are the Boilermakers overall, 2-1. Don't forget, Purdue in the Big Ten West holds the tiebreaker now over Iowa because of that win. Shane, I'm going to go ahead and I've ridden Wisconsin for 2 years, and they have beat me to death. This is going to be my kind of upset here. I'm going to take Wisconsin. This is run versus pass, though, right? I'm going to take Wisconsin. They've put about 1,000 losses on me for 2 years. They owe me one. I think they might get after the passer a little bit, and it may be finally a special day for Wisconsin. Give me the Badgers. Yeah. Okay, so you'll take Purdue. I've got Wisconsin. Real quick, Brom, he's from that family that went through Louisville, right? Didn't all those guys played at Louisville? Is Brom, Shane, in your opinion, he throws the ball, he's an offensive mind. Is he at his last stop, or is Brom a guy that somebody would go pluck out of Purdue? Yeah. There you go. So we're split on the first two. Something's going down. Game number 3, Oklahoma State, number 8 in the nation. Oklahoma State, the Cowboys, 6-0 overall, 3-0 in conference play. They are at Iowa State. Everybody wrote off Iowa State. They are 4-2, 2-1. Iowa State has 2 losses, Shane, but they've lost to good teams. You know, they've lost to some pretty good teams. A lot of people are screaming upset alert here. Shane, I'll let you go first. Oak State trying to get to Bedlam undefeated, and then who knows what, at Iowa State. Is this the game Iowa State has once a year and they pull a big upset? Is that right? No.
I'm going to lean towards the Cowboys because they just keep winning, and I'm not sold on Iowa State. But this could be the game where they come back and get going in the right direction.
I'm going to ride with you, Shane. Very uneasy here because Iowa State normally gets somebody once a year. It's normally and it normally has the word Oklahoma in it. A lot of times they get Oklahoma. Maybe they get Oklahoma State. But, boy, what a magical year so far for the Cowboys. I didn't see this coming. Remember, last year was the year people thought Oklahoma State was really going to rear their head. They had the great running back and the receiver and the quarterback's back. But, gosh, Oklahoma State, 8th in the nation are the Cowboys. So we both take Oklahoma State. Boston College really got beat up at home last week. NC State, who's a pretty good team, really did a number in the second half on Boston College. Boston College at Louisville, ACC game. Shane, the only intrigue here, Boston College 4-2 overall, Louisville 3-3. I think the winner of this game has a chance to carve out a decent little season, 7, maybe 8 wins. The loser's probably going to go the wrong way. Tough call here. I'll go with Louisville at home, Shane, for no other reason that Louisville's at home. BC at Louisville.
Yeah, I was going to take whoever the home team is. You said it's Louisville. I'll take the Cardinals.
Yeah, again, BC, if they get their 5th win, they could win 7 maybe or 8. Louisville's got 3 wins now. If they get this one at home, they got a chance to win 2 or 3 more and have a decent season. Another team that's quietly been in the top 25 all season long, basically, is North Carolina State. They are ranked 18th in the nation. The Wolfpack 5-1 overall, 2-0 in ACC play. Remember, NC State probably I watched all the NC State-Mississippi State game, the only game North Carolina State has lost, and I thought NC State early in that game, the first quarter and a half, left about 17 points on the board, and they ended up getting beat. That's their only loss. North Carolina State on the road at Miami. Canes going the wrong way. They're 2-4, 0-2. I'll lead this one off. I know Miami's at home. I don't think that means anything. There'll probably be about 5,000 fans there. I think NC State might put a big number on Miami tomorrow and continue the screams for Manny Diaz's head. I'll take NC State, Shane.
Yeah, I like NC State too. As you said, they're ranked. They've been playing good football. I can't trust anything. Miami has how many wins, Terry? 2?
They are 2-4, 0-2 in conference play.
And they beat Central Connecticut State and App State.
How about that?
And they barely beat App State.
Yeah, App State should have beat them. App State, should have beat them.
I'll go with the Wolfpack.
So we're in agreement there here on our Safe Harbor Seafood picks of the week. Week 8, Shane Matthews with us. Coach Spurrier traveling on the West Coast. We'll get his picks and put them in, but we both like NC State. I think they could put a number. NC State's got a nice offense. Little underrated quarterback. He's a college guy, Larry, and a couple good backs. NC State's always got receivers, too. I don't know where they get them. They always got some decent receivers. Chip Kelly is at home with his new college team, UCLA. UCLA at home taking on 10th-ranked Oregon, Chip Kelly's old college program. Oregon, 10th in the nation, 5-1, 2-1 in conference play. UCLA quietly 5-2, 3-1. Chip Kelly at home. Shane, I'll throw this to you first. Chip Kelly at home facing Oregon. A blow that I don't know if people noticed 2 or 3 weeks ago, C.J. Verdell, the little scat back for Oregon who had the big game against Ohio State, he got injured. He's out for the year. They've got other playmakers, but put up or shut up kind of game. Oregon at UCLA. Shane Matthews, how do you see it?
I want to take the Bruins at home. I'm not a believer in Oregon. I don't understand the whole Mario Cristobal deal. They're a good, solid little program, but I think UCLA finds a way to win. Yeah,
and that would be devastating. Pac-12 would be done. Would be totally done. They're hanging on by a thread, hoping Oregon could go 11-1, 12-1, get ranked somewhere and have a bunch of losses. Boy, this is a tough pick. This is a real tough pick. I like Cristobal a little more than you do. I think he's a really good recruiter. I'll go home team again. I'll go with you, Shane. UCLA. I've really went back and forth. I think it's a tough game. Speaking of the Pac-12, USC, the Trojans 3-3 overall, Shane. They are 2-3 in ACC play, but they go out of conference. They are at 13th ranked Notre Dame, who is still 5-1. I have no idea how Notre Dame doesn't have 2 or 3 losses. USC interim coach in the market for a head coach. They're at Notre Dame, the historic game. Shane, I'm going Notre Dame. I have no idea how Notre Dame has only 1 loss. What's your thought on the Irish?
I don't think they're very good. That's why I'm taking USC. I don't think USC is very good either. I think they're going to find a way to win. I mean, think about USC's at least lost to Pac-12 teams. Notre Dame struggled. Should have probably lost to FSU. Should have probably lost to Toledo. They've been winning somehow. I don't like Notre Dame, so I'm going to pick USC.
Boy, I was close. I chickened out. I was close. I thought, this may be that one final. I know USC still has UCLA at the end of the year, but this is one of those maybe final games USC can rear up and do something, for the old college that's all fractured. You'll go USC. I'll stay with Notre Dame. And Notre Dame, again, 5-1. After USC, they've got North Carolina Navy, at Virginia, Georgia Tech, and at Stanford. I don't know how Notre Dame's done it, but I don't think they're the 13th best team in the country. They're 5-1, and they're ranked 13th. Let's bring it back to the SEC. Tennessee, after all the controversy, the near miss at the end, the mess in the stadium, Tennessee sits at 4-3 overall, 2-2 in the SEC. They are at Alabama, 4th-ranked Alabama. Speaking of quiet, Alabama just weaseling their way back. They dropped down to 5. Now they're at 4. They control their own destiny. Bama, 6-1, 3-1 in conference play. We'll get to Ole Miss in a moment, but boy, that was a physical game between Ole Miss and Tennessee. Took a physical toll on both teams. I don't like Tennessee in the game anyway, but boy, they look like a battered team at the end of the game. Obviously, we're both going Bama. Talk about this game.
Well, I don't think it's going to be even close. I think it's going to be like a 48-10 type game, especially if Hendon Hooker doesn't play. They have zero chance to move the football. So I think Alabama wins handily.
Shane, we're both going Alabama, obviously. Shane, that was a brass knuckles brawl in Knoxville. Forget the ugly crowd situation, but man, Ole Miss and Tennessee, they went at. That was a back alley brawl, wasn't it?
It was. It was a good game. Good. It was fun to watch. Very similar teams, same exact offense. I think that's why you saw a close game. But yeah, Tennessee's going to take their lumps this week.
Yeah, here's where Tennessee's at. I think they've had an improved season. I think Tennessee fan is a little encouraged. It seems like they might have the right coach finally. He's got the program looks like what you're supposed to look like. You know, they're organized. The knock is, I think they could get beat up bad here in the second half of the season. Here's their next 3 games starting tomorrow, Shane. Tennessee is at Alabama, at Kentucky, and Georgia rolls into Knoxville. I mean, and they're already a beat up team. That's rough.
Yeah, that's a bunch of losses right there. There's no question.
It really is. And I hope it doesn't shadow. I think Tennessee, wouldn't you agree? I think Tennessee's program has taken a step forward for where they've been. I mean, they've been below the floor the last 5 years. I think would you agree, Tennessee, things look a little better for the Vols right now?
Yeah, I think Josh Heupel's done a good job with them. I don't even know what their record is right now, but I think what they need to do is just try to somehow get bowl eligible. But with his style of play, Tennessee fans have to be happy.
Tennessee's sitting 4-3 overall, 2-2. But like I said, Bama tomorrow, Kentucky next, Georgia next. So not a lot of wins, I don't think. We never would have thought this probably in the preseason when we talked about Clemson taking a trip to Pittsburgh. And if we said one of the teams, Clemson or Pittsburgh, is going to be ranked, we never would have thought it was going to be Pittsburgh and not Clemson. The Tigers, 4-2, 3-1, really struggled do the Tigers of Clemson on offense. They just can't score points. Clemson on the road at 23rd ranked Pitt. The Panthers, 5-1, 2-0 in their division. They've got Clemson, then they've got Miami at Duke, North Carolina, Virginia, and Syracuse. Pitt is a real contender to win their division and win the ACC. I know I'm going Pitt. Shane, I'm assuming you're probably going because I don't think Clemson can score.
Yeah, I like Pitt. I like the quarterback. I like their offense. They have their only losses to Western Michigan, I think, which is it's a bad loss, or Pitt would be in the playoff talk.
Yeah, I agree with you. Western Michigan's pretty good. I remember looking that game up their season up a couple weeks ago when I said, who beat Pitt? It was Western Michigan, but they're pretty good. They're having a pretty good season. So we both like Pitt, and Shane, if I'm counting right, this is our final game. And it's a tough one. It is a real tough game. LSU, was that a one-off last week? Was that the final win-one for the Gipper? Has LSU found something? Are they going to care the rest of the year? LSU on the road, 4-3 overall are the Tigers, 2-2 in the SEC. They are at Ole Miss, 12th ranked Ole Miss, okay? That's what they're ranked in the AP, number 12. Ole Miss, 5-1, 2-1. Of course, their loss was to Alabama. This is a tough one. This is a real tough one. Ole Miss was part of that team or that game where it was so physical with Tennessee. Ole Miss is beat up. I'll believe it when I see it if Corral doesn't play. I think he's a guy that'll limp out there on crutches if he has to. But, man, this is a tough game. Shane, LSU at Ole Miss. It's the Manning Day tomorrow in Oxford. It's going to be a huge festive day, but LSU is a physical team. How do you see it?
Well, Corral's not going to be 100%. I assume he's playing. They haven't really announced it. Here's the thing. Ole Miss can't stop anybody. I think LSU is going to get back and run the football like they did against Florida. I think this game can be close, but I still think Ole Miss finds a way to win it. I think it's going to be closer than people think, but I'll lean Ole Miss.
I'm with you. I'm going Ole Miss, but, man, I'm worried. I'm worried that LSU could play bully ball, and, Corral won't be 100%. Man, what a performance the other night, though, by the way. What a performance at Knoxville. We'll both go Ole Miss, but this wouldn't surprise me. Shane, it wouldn't surprise you, though, if LSU got bully balling and just physically beat their butt, right? That wouldn't surprise you tomorrow.
No, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, I think LSU has a very good chance of winning this game if they can run, which I think they're going to be able to run the football on Ole Miss, because I don't think Ole Miss's defense maybe a little better than last year, but not that much better.
All right, Shane, we'll get out of here. A couple more quick topics with you. I want to get your opinion or just throw out at you. Not a lot of Big Ten action again for the second week in a row in our picks, but let me tell you, starting next week, this is just the way it plays out. The Big Ten East is the side that has the 4 teams ranked. I mean, Ohio State and Penn State and Michigan and Michigan State. They're all in the Big Ten East, Shane. They haven't played each other yet. Next week, they start playing each other. All 4. Next week, the Big Ten East has got 4 teams in like a 6-week round robin. The Big Ten will rear its head over the next several weeks, so we'll get back to them. Shane, Texas A&M, you and I both absolutely loved them coming into the season. We both picked them to win the West, and I had them winning the SEC. I love Texas A&M. The injury to their quarterback really derailed them. Don't look now. They need help. If Texas A&M ran the table, they would be 10-2. If somebody knocked off Alabama, maybe LSU, maybe Auburn, you realize Texas A&M would go to Atlanta? They only have 2 losses.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Huh.
They have the tiebreaker over Bama, right? They beat them.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Texas A&M lost to Arkansas and Mississippi State. They are going to really rue the day that they didn't win one of those if they run the table at 10-2 and nobody knocks off Alabama. But they would need to run the table, and that's easier said than done. I get that. And then they need somebody to knock off Alabama. But they could still backdoor their way into Atlanta with a 10-2 record with some help. Crazy.
Yeah, the game that they got to be kicking themselves is losing at home to Mississippi State.
Yeah. I tell you one thing, though. A 12-team playoff, A&M would probably sneak in about 10th or 11th seed. They're playing good. I don't think anybody wants to part A&M right now. Am I looking to Texas A&M glasses here? I think they're playing great football right now.
No, I think you're exactly right. They're a good football team. Like I said, it would be really – I wish we could have seen Haynes King develop, who was their starter that's out. But Calzado's come on, and Jimbo's using his NFL guys, and you're right. We'll see. I mean, Alabama's still got to play Auburn, and I'm not sure who else. But
LSU?
Anything can
anything can happen. Shane, get on about your business here on a Friday. Appreciate your time. Thanks so much for everything you do for the show. Hope you get a little golf in today, and then wall-to-wall college football. Not a great noon. We had a great noontime slot last week. Not a great noontime slot, but, man, there's 3 or 4 bunched up at 3:30. You better get multiple TVs. Shane, thanks, buddy. Have a great weekend.
All right, take care.
That's my buddy Shane Matthews with our picks. Shane's down. I'm down. We'll get Coach Spurrier's picks. Remember, if you're just tuning in, Coach Spurrier is traveling. He's on the West Coast, so he's out with business. He'll be back on Monday here on College Sports Today. Let's take one final break, come back, hit a couple more topics, get you set for tomorrow, Week 8 of the college football season.
Ever heard the saying, all politics are local? I believe the same goes for lawyers. To me, it doesn't matter how many lawyers any firm has spread across the country. What matters is who's the lawyer right here, right now. I'm Bill Allen. I've spent my whole career fighting big insurance companies for my friends and neighbors right here in North Central Florida. If you've been hurt and don't know who to trust, I would be honored to help you and your family against any opponent, anytime, anywhere. Call me 24/7.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good
All the
vibes.
good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvell, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Putting a bow on this Week 8 edition of College Sports Today from the Future Home Loans Studios inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Don't forget, Visors is opened now every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If you want a little more casual up top and have a great view, or come on down and enjoy the great table settings and great meals here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point, the Celebration Point development here in the Gainesville area. We want to thank, as we said, our title sponsor, Allen Law Firm, two offices, one in Gainesville, one in Ocala. They'll service you all over the state of Florida. Give them a call. It's easy to reach the experts at Allen Law Firm by picking up your phone and hitting pound. Yes, pound YES. Thanks to everybody. Future Home Loans, our studio sponsor, Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach, several weeks away from reopening. Total renovations. I can't not wait to get back into my hangout, Sliders Oyster Bar, and have some of that Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of College Sports Today. You know it by now. There's the great logo, Vida de Luis Tequila. Ask for it by name all over the state of Florida in your favorite restaurants and bars. And also when you're here at Spurrier's, it's on the drink menu. They've got a couple of drinks. The Coco Loco has it in there. And, of course, margaritas with Vida de Luis in it are wonderful. And every once in a while, it's okay. If you're over 21, get a shot. Get a shot of tequila. Sometimes you just need a little punch, you know. And certainly we want to thank our friends at Safe Harbor Seafood, Crescent Beach, the newer one, about a year old now, and, of course, the original Safe Harbor Seafood in Mayport that has the marketplace. Dine in, eat the great seafood at Safe Harbor Mayport, or take it out. They've got the marketplace and put it in your freezer and have that great Safe Harbor Seafood year-round at your home. Thank you to Safe Harbor Seafood for sponsoring our picks contest. Back here on the program, I want to thank everybody that was involved. Didn't have time to talk to a lot of them with our picks, but David checked in and Alex checked in, Ann checked in. My buddy Aaron, it looked like a bunch of people had checked in. We appreciate that, however you consume the show. Okay, let me set it up for you a little bit. I mentioned it's not a great Saturday tomorrow in terms of two ranked teams playing. I don't think we have any ranked teams playing each other. We don't have a top 25 matchup. And so a little bit of a bummer, but I think there are several teams on upset alert. Number 8, Oklahoma State, maybe upset alert against Iowa State. Number 10, Oregon, the Chip Kelly Bowl. Oregon at UCLA, possible upset. Number 12, Ole Miss, physically a beat-up football team. That was a war in Knoxville last Saturday night between Ole Miss and Tennessee. Ole Miss will host a very physical LSU team. It's in Oxford. A lot is going on, but boy, that's going to be a tough get off the mat physically for Ole Miss. Maybe upset alert there. Number 13, Notre Dame. They've got one loss on the season to a really good Cincinnati team. They've pulled a couple of wins out of their you-know-what, but Notre Dame is at home. Are they on upset alert? 13th ranked Notre Dame hosting USC. We know what's going on with the USC program and what has gone on. There's some dangerous athletes at USC. That's one that's possible upset alert. And another top 25 team, Purdue. After their huge win over Iowa last week, Purdue jumps in at 25. They host Wisconsin. That'll be a lot of passing versus what Wisconsin hopes is a lot of running. Maybe that is upset alert. Not a great slate of noon games. You got to get to the 3:30 games, and it really picks up tomorrow at 3:30. Last weekend, the noon time slot had great games. What all did they have? I wrote that down. Yeah, last Saturday, the noon slots included Auburn, Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Texas, Florida, LSU. We don't have that really tomorrow at noon, but if you can make it to the 3:30 time slot, a bunch of good games coming up kind of in that 3:30. Wisconsin, Purdue, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Oregon, UCLA, LSU, Ole Miss, Clemson at Pitt. Those are all 3 or 3:30 games right there in the middle. So middle of the day, big time. Not a lot of great games at night tomorrow night. Tennessee at Alabama. I think it's going to get away from Tennessee quickly. So your best bet tomorrow is mainly that middle of the day. There's some good games that overlap right there around that 3:30 kickoff time. That'll wrap it up. I want to thank Shane Matthews with his Safe Harbor Seafood picks. We'll get Coach Spurrier's picks as he is traveling. If you just tuned in, Coach Spurrier out today. He's on the West Coast on business. He'll be back here on Monday. So wanted to catch everybody up on that. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to you for watching. Thanks to you for listening. However you consume college sports today, we appreciate it. We'll get back together Monday, 11 a.m. for the next edition of College Sports Day. And remember, next Monday and Friday, a lot of Florida-Georgia talk on the show, as it will be Florida-Georgia week when we get back together Monday at 11 a.m. right here on College Sports Today. Goodbye, everybody.